Alright, hello. Welcome everyone. This is the Formula One Retro League. I'm your host today. I'm Thomas Wood, and today it is round 10 of the 2000 season of the Formula One Retro League. We are here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. It might not say it on the screen right now, but we will be in Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. There's quite a few things to cover before we get into the action in qualifying. Of course, this race here in Belgium is famous for its weather. Remember back to 2 years ago in 1998 with that crazy start. Everyone remembers the Murray Walker line. It was the worst start to a Grand Prix I had ever seen in my life. And perhaps we'll see something similar, as we will have light rain for the start of this race, as the weather forecast says. It's also important to mention the high likelihood we might have of safety cars here. Of course, people are going to be pushing here at Spa. Of course, it is a prestigious circuit and quite easy to overtake at. So they'll be going for moves, and perhaps they will crash with each other. I mean, we hope not, of course. We want everyone to go through safely, but in the case that they do, there probably will be a safety car, and we will see how that plays out. Because of course, last race at Hungary, which you can find the stream of online at the F1 Retro League YouTube channel. Last time out in Hungary, round 9, Heinz-Harald Frentzen was screwed over by a safety car. Mid-race, that ruined his race. It allowed Jacques Villeneuve to win last time out, and that means that if Jacques Villeneuve wins this race, that he will be able to take the lead of the Drivers' Championship, because Michael Schumacher will not be in attendance here. His teammate Rubens Barrichello will be here for the Belgian Grand Prix. He wasn't in Hungary, but Michael Schumacher will not be attending the Belgian Grand Prix. In the universe, we're saying he is unwell. So, make of that what you will. I was going to mention about the form of Minardi, which we saw last race. Of course, they've scored 2 podiums over the course of this year. One from Marc Genet at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and of course one last time out for Gaston Mazzacane in Hungary. However, of course... Why did I say of course? Anyway, however, neither of them will be attending this race, as of course... Why did I keep saying of course? That's annoying. Anyway, yeah, neither of them will be attending. So that's one thing to watch out for. Of course, Minardi. I was going to mention how Minardi could have continued their form of podiums, but they will not for this race, as neither of them are here. So let's hope they can be back for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza next week. So the drivers we currently have in this lobby are the arrows of Jos Verstappen. We have Jacques Villeneuve, last week's race winner, second in the championship. We have Rubens Barrichello for Ferrari, and we have Alexander Wurz for Benetton here. These are the drivers currently in attendance. There are, I think there are 6 drivers who are confirmed to be attending. Whether they do show up is another matter. However, of course, we hope they do, because we like seeing lots of cars on this grid. Let me read to you some circuit stats. It's 7.004 kilometers round here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Which, of course, is because we're using the modern layout of this circuit, because we are on the F1 22 game, but we're going to quietly ignore that. Let's pretend it is 2000 as it is in universe, and let's say I believe it was less than 7 kilometers back then. Let's pretend it is. There's 22 laps around here at Belgium, because of course we are running 50% races. All the rules can be found in the F1 Retro League Discord, which if you're watching on playback, you'll be able to find in the description of the video. So, yeah. But of course, if you're on stream, I'm sure you'll be able to find the F1 Retro League Discord. I don't know if if it was in the description of the last race, but that is not important. We're looking forwards to Belgium here. Of course, the weekend format is short qualifying, a 18-minute session, and then we'll have 22 laps of the Belgian Grand Prix. And we will have, as I mentioned before, light rain for the start of the race. Then it will dry up. Completely dry for qualifying, though. As we can see in the chat, Michael Schumacher is here watching from the sidelines. However, he will not be racing, as he is unwell, let's say. And it's also important to note, well, I wouldn't say it's important, but we should note that this, as we currently have 5 drivers in the lobby here for this Belgian Grand Prix, this is the lowest attendance of the F1 Retro League so far. We're hoping, of course, that we will be able to bump those numbers up. However, that is up to the drivers to attend. I cannot make them. So, we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix. This is the F1 Retro League. Today's Belgian Grand Prix is brought to you by Foster's Beer, available in any local store round you. This is the Formula 1 Retro League. We're here for the 2000 Belgian Grand Prix, here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Currently 5 drivers in attendance for this. We have Jos Verstappen, Jacques Villeneuve, Rubens Barrichello, Alexander Wurz, and now we also have Ralf Schumacher here. His brother, of course, not here in attendance due to being unwell. As we can see, everyone readying for qualifying, just waiting on Jacques Villeneuve, but once he does get underway, or the timer runs out, we will be underway for qualifying. And we will see finally action on track here at Spa Circuit. Short qualifying, 18-minute session, just the one. And we will be hoping for an exciting qualifying session. However, it doesn't look like it will be, because of course there is only 1 Ferrari in attendance and 6, I believe, drivers in total now. 5 drivers, excuse me, as we see there. That's to remind you: Jacques Villeneuve, Rubens Barrichello, Jos Verstappen, Ralf Schumacher and Alexander Wurz here for qualifying. We're just waiting on one of them to go out. And once we do, we will have action and cars on track for the Belgian Grand Prix here on the Formula 1 Retro League. only 5 drivers attending. That means that everyone will score points, even if we are running the 2,000 point system, that being 10 for first, second gets 6 points, 4 points for third. As you see, that's a driver coming out there, and that is Rubens Barrichello. But as I say, 10 for first, 6 for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 point for 6th place. But of course, we won't be getting that 6th place point because there are only 5 drivers here. As you see, that is Rubens Barrichello making his way down into Eau Rouge, up through Radion now. There's a little bit of a lag spike here, but we're going to ignore that and focus on the race. Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, the Foster's Belgian Grand Prix of 2000. Let's hope it's an exciting race between these 5 drivers. As I apologise for the lag here, I'm not sure quite what's going on. I think I've left the lobby. Not quite sure. But anyway. Casting issues from Belgium, but hopefully we'll be back underway very soon. Yeah, once again, apologies for the short delay. We're looking to get back to the action very soon. But quickly, we'll just rattle off the drivers attending this race. We have Rubens Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, Alexander Wurz, Jacques Villeneuve, and Jos Verstappen. All from different teams, it's important to note, so no team will be scoring double points this weekend. Also the lowest attendance we've had this season. Not great for the league, but we'll hope that it improves for the Italian Grand Prix next weekend. Once again, we apologise for the short delay. We'll be back with the live action very soon. Okay, looks like we'll be able to get back to the live action now. as we are back to the live action for the 2000 Belgian Grand Prix of this F1 Retro League. We apologise for the short delay, and as we look now, that is Alexander Wirtz out of qualifying. We won't be able to confirm with you what happened, unfortunately. Perhaps we'll see it in the F1 Retro League Discord later on, but it's currently Jacques Villeneuve on pole position. And then it's Ralf Schumacher in second. Rubens Barrichello currently sits third for Schumacher. For Ferrari. Schumacher's not here. And it's Jos Verstappen in fourth, last of the running cars. As we have a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I wonder what that's for. I don't see anyone stopped on track, so perhaps it's just a phantom yellow, or maybe it's for Jos Verstappen, who is going quite slow down into... Is that Blanchimont? I believe it is Blanchimont. I haven't brushed up on my corner names recently, however. Yes, it is Blanchimont. I remember correctly. As that is, we are now watching Ralf Schumacher as he heads down into Eau Rouge corner, one of the most famous corners in Formula 1 and in racing in general. As he comes to the top of Radion down the Kemmel Straight, as we see DRS not open. Of course, this is the 2000 season we're role-playing, and there is no DRS. So, and anyone who does happen to use DRS will get 8 penalty points on their license, and disqualification. 8 penalty points equivalates to a qualifying ban for the next race. As we see, Ralf Schumacher is the only car out on track right now. I'm assuming all the other cars will be waiting for the end of the session to go out, as there isn't really any point going out right now. You're just wasting sets of tyres, which I suppose is a good strategy move. However, if there is a problem later on, then we'll be starting third and fourth, but of course, with only 5 cars in the race, I don't think that'll be much of an issue. However, we're still following Ralf Schumacher as he's on another outlap here, it seems. Waiting for to start his flying lap to beat Ralf Schumacher? He is Ralf Schumacher. He's looking to beat Jacques Villeneuve's pole time. Currently sitting at a 1:44.160. Currently, Ralf Schumacher about 3 tenths behind that. Rubens Barrichello and Jos Verstappen yet to set a representative lap time, and of course Alexander Wirtz is out of qualifying after some sort of incident, we assume a crash. As we see, that is Ralf Schumacher coming into the pit lane there. So it was an in-lap, excuse me, I thought it was an out-lap. This is an out-lap from Jos Verstappen. See him coming down into Le Com. It's a very wonderful circuit, this Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Everything flows so nicely. One highly regarded amongst the F1 fans as one of the best circuits in Formula 1. Up there with Monza and Silverstone. And Interlagos, of course. But we're at Spa and following Jos Verstappen as he heads round Pouhon corner on his outlap, looking to beat Jacques Villeneuve to pole position here. But don't forget, of course, there will be light rain for the start of the race. Because there will be. I don't know why I said because there, but there will. It will dry up later on in qualifying right now. It's almost like a one-shot qualifying session, this. Following one driver while the rest are in the pit lane. If only there was a way to do that on the modern game and not have all the drivers go out at once. That would be a sight to see. Of course, it would take quite a while to go through all that, but it would be fun nevertheless. But we're going to watch Jos Verstappen as he starts his flying lap. He's headed through. I can't remember what the corner's called. La Source. As he head through La Source into Eau Rouge now. Up Radion. We saw Ralf Schumacher go out there at the back. Presumably for a second flying lap. I mean, why else would you go out? But This is Jos Verstappen for Arrow's Supertech here. I believe it's Supertech for the engines that they supply. Yes. Is it? I'll have to look that up for you. If I check quickly. It is, yes. Supertech supply engines. What that equates to in actual engine terms, I don't know. But for partnership reasons, it is branded as a Supertech engine. As he heads through La Fania now, Jos Verstappen. Pretty good through there. I didn't see any major issues. Hitting the apex pretty well. As he heads out onto the back straight here. Isn't very much of a straight, pretty with a little bit of corners through there. As he heads up into Blanchimont now. The most non-straight part of the straight. Into the bus stop chicane. Of course, in real life, in the 2000 season, it was more of a bus stop. But here we have the modern layout. And we see Jos Verstappen up into 3rd place here. He is about 5/10 behind Ralf Schumacher, who is starting his flying lap now. As we see Jos Verstappen letting him past. But we're going to follow Ralf Schumacher as he heads down into Eau Rouge corner through Radion now. Very good through there. Down the Kemmel Straight. Very long straight this on the calendar. I believe the longest on the calendar. Of course, no Baku circuit yet. Not for another 16 years. Because this is the 2000 season of the Formula 1 Retro League. And let's just say that we hope this league stays afloat. Because currently there are not many drivers attending this race. Only 5 drivers participating in this race. Anya there. He's gone wide again into... Oh, sorry, that was a bit of lag there. It looked like a mistake. But is Rubens Barrichello in lap now? We'll watch that once Ralf Schumacher has completed his flying lap. And he comes round into the bus stop chicane, hits the apex nicely, sits. And he goes into the pit lane. Doesn't feel it necessary to complete another lap. But so we're going to watch Rubens Barrichello through Eau Rouge corner now. Up to the top of Radion. Easily flat in these cars. Through Eau Rouge and Radion complex. As he heads down into Le Com now. Can he get this nailed? Perhaps slightly off the apex there. But nails the second part and third part of Le Com nicely. Heading into the, I believe this is the Bruxelles corner. Nicely through there, hits the apex nicely. Swings back over to the corner for the no-name corner. Wide on the exit there. But you're allowed to do that. Heading into the famous Pouan corner now. In fact, almost all the corners here are famous. Even the ones without a name, but heads through Pouan very nicely through there. Into La Fania now. No major issues with that corner complex. Swing back over to the right side of camera. Into Stavolo corner. Gets it hooked up nicely. Flat out on exit almost. Goes very close to the barrier, as the barrier is quite close to the track there. As we look on the timing tower, Jacques Villeneuve is on his out lap, looking to improve his pole time. But we're looking at Rubens Barrichello as he head through Blanchimont. Easily flat through there. Into the bus stop chicane. Gets it stopped nicely. Perhaps missed the apex slightly for the first part, but he gets it stopped for the second part. As he accelerates out of the line, he sits in 4th place. That is surprising for the Ferrari. He'll have maybe one more attempt, maybe 2 attempts for a improvement on that lap, as it currently sits in 4th place for out of the 5 drivers in participation of this race. Alexander Wirtz crashed out of qualifying earlier on. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that due to some technical issues. As we see Rubens Barrichello. Oh, and he spawned. Rubens Barrichello spawned in qualifying there. He's added some damage to his front wing. Managed to keep it going though. Not retired. But I think that is him out of qualifying unless he can make it round the lap in 1 minute. But of course that means he'll have a broken front wing. So that is Rubens Barrichello starting 4th for the Belgian Grand Prix out of 5. As we cut to Jacques Villeneuve now, he's on a flying lap as he heads out of La Source into Eau Rouge. Can he get the car hooked up nicely through there? Easily flat through the Eau Rouge complex, and he is through there. Yellow flag in Sector 2 now, but it's cleared. As we see Jacques Verstappen, Villeneuve down the Kemmel Straight into La Source. That's not La Source, that's Le Combe. Over the curbs nicely, doesn't spin like we saw Rubens Barrichello do just a couple moments ago. Into Bruxelles now. Does he get stopped? He does nicely, hooks up the apex well. Across to the other side of the track for No Name Corner. Hits the apex nicely, drifts out wide at apex, as you're allowed to do. Into Pouan Corner now. Hits apex 1 nicely. And you're allowed to miss the second apex there, so he is through well there into La Fagna now. Hits the apex, hits the Corbett entry, and hits both apexes quite well. As we see, the checker flag has fallen on qualifying now. And neither Ralf Schumacher nor Jos Verstappen will get round to start another lap. And neither will Rubens Barrichello. So no matter what Jacques Villeneuve does on this lap, it means he is in pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix of 2000. That starts his day off well, as of course he can claim the championship lead here with Michael Schumacher not in attendance. Jacques Villeneuve is in 2nd place in the championship. So this is exactly what the VAR driver will be wanting. The Canadian driver, the 1997 Formula 1 World Champion, of course. And he was 5/10 ahead of the Williams of Ralf Schumacher. Then in 3rd, it's Jos Verstappen for Arrows. The Dutch driver is I guess you could call it an impressive qualifying, beating the Ferrari of Rubens Barrichello. But I mean, there's only 5 drivers here, so I wouldn't say it's that much of a problem. So Rubens Barrichello in 4th, and Alexander Wurz is last place on the grid after a crash. As we're going to go to the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. It will be light rain for the start here. As we can see now, yep, there is the rain falling. All the drivers presumably will be on intermediate tyres. Let's hope they don't have any incidents into La Source, the first corner. 271 metres from pole position to the first corner. One of the shortest starts of the Formula 1 calendar into the first corner. Let's hope there's no carnage, as we have seen at Belgium 1998. But we're going to go to 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix. The lights are off and the race is on. And it's Jacques Villeneuve away well in the wet. Ralf Schumacher not off to a great start. Jos Verstappen's going to be on the inside. And there's Alexander Wurz on the inside there. And they all get through well. Alexander Wurz up into 2nd. That is an impressive start from the Austrian driver here. And as we see, but is Jacques Villeneuve leading at the back there? Ralf Schumacher is chasing down Rubens Barrichello. And almost pulling alongside of Barrichello there. Not getting a great exit off of Radion Corner. Is Ralf Schumacher going to make a move into Le Combe? He pulls out to the inside. Can he stick his nose in? He will, but has to concede the position. But he's going to get the cutback on. So managed to go around the outside as Alexander Wurz has gone off in the background there. That puts him back down to his starting position and with a bit of wing damage, I think. No, I don't see any damage on that Benetton. Let's hope it's all alright underneath the chassis. But it's Jacques Villeneuve leading the way with Jos Verstappen in an impressive second place for Arrows. Then comes Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher tied in a battle. And that's Alexander Wurz going off in the background there almost again. But Ralf Schumacher is trying to chase down the Ferrari here. Trying to take points off of Ferrari in the Constructors and maybe extend the points of Williams. But of course all drivers will be getting points here. As that is, we see Ralf Schumacher in the background has gone around the outside of Rubens Barrichello. In there. And I think off at the back there, something's happened to the Benetton of Alex Wurz. I'm not sure exactly what that is for, but I'm assuming he'll have to pit for repairs. Obviously, that is a bit of a broken wing there on the Benetton. But it is Jacques Villeneuve leading the way here of the Belgian Grand Prix. 21 laps remain. As that we see Alexander Wurz is in the pit lane now. As they come down to Eau Rouge for the second time, Alexander Wurz has got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will not be ideal for him and his race. But luckily it does get one of his mandatory stops out of the way. Of course, in the F1 Retro League, you do have to make 2 mandatory pit stops, unlike the one that it is nowadays. But one of those, I assume, will be covered by the change to dry tyres. Ignore the predicted pit stop strategy there. I'm not sure what AWS is trying to say to us, but it will clear up later on in the race, as it was light rain at the start, and it will be dry for the middle and end segments. But it is Jacques Villeneuve comfortably leading the way from Jos Verstappen. Behind him is Ralf Schumacher, and then Rubens Barrichello in 4th is Alexander Wurz for Benetton. 38 seconds back from the next car, and with a 4 speeding in the pit lane. As there's been a problem here. Not exactly sure what's happened. Looks like the race has ended. Everyone seems to have retired. Everyone's left the lobby. We apologise for the issues here. I'm not sure if this is meant to happen. Perhaps it's an issue on my end. I apologise if that is the case, but I'm not sure what's going on here. We apologise for the technical issues. Clearly the signal not too great from Belgium, perhaps affected by the rain. As we will get back to the action shortly. However, I do doubt anything has happened here in the Belgian Grand Prix. With 5 drivers on the track and none of them able to get close to each other, doesn't look like there could be any issues. As we see there, yep, no issues. However, Jos Verstappen has dropped back to 3rd place behind Ralf Schumacher. Did the driver make a mistake, or did Ralf Schumacher catch up to him? It doesn't look like that he made a mistake. Perhaps Ralf Schumacher just caught up to him, because the gap has stayed relatively similar to the front of Jacques Villeneuve. But Rubens Barrichello still in 4th place, and that's the Benetton of Alexander Wurz off at the back there again. That is not ideal for his race. I mean, it was already a weekend to forget for him, really, crashing out of qualifying earlier on. But there does seem to be some sort of issues. It almost looks like the car is driving on ice there. Whether that's due to overheated tyres, underheated tyres, or simply a skill issue, we'll have to confirm after the race with Wurz. As you see, that is Ralf Schumacher setting the fastest lap of the race. He's caught massively up to the back of Jacques Villeneuve. Perhaps he'll be able to make a move into Le Combe on this lap. It's lap 4 of 22 here. Heading through Radion now. Everyone seems to make it through safely, and they do so. Ralf Schumacher not close enough to make a move, I don't think, into Le Combe. He has a little look, but nothing becoming of that. Rounding Le Combe now. This is... Jacques Villeneuve will be wanting to keep Ralf Schumacher behind, not only because he wants to win the race, but if he does, it will give him the lead of the championship, I believe. Yes, it will, as Jacques Villeneuve is 3 points behind Michael Schumacher, who is not attending. Ralf Schumacher cannot take any positions off of anyone here in the championship, as he is, that is, I think it's 18 points, 17 points behind Jacques Villeneuve, as he sits in third in the championship. But of course, they're racers. They'll want to win the race. They want to race, and they will. That's what they're paid to do. And they're certainly going to enjoy it very much here, as this is the Belgian Grand Prix. Ralf Schumacher has got up quite a lot to the back of Jacques Villeneuve. He's going to try and go for it into the bus stop chicane, perhaps. Jacques Villeneuve defending there. Got to push Ralf Schumacher the long way round. Can the Michael's brother do it? They're still side by side on the exit. Jacques Villeneuve a little squirmy, but he's able to blast past down the straight there. Maybe perhaps the BAR running a lower downforce setup. Ralf Schumacher going to try and get the cutback out of La Source now. He's not quite alongside, perhaps waiting for the top of Radion to get into the slipstream and go past the BAR driver. As we see, he's caught up there through Radion. Can Ralf Schumacher make a move here into Le Combe chicane? He pulls out to the inside. Can he make the move? Jacques Villeneuve has gone defensive. Nothing becoming of that. Ralf Schumacher still in second. Jacques Villeneuve still in first. And Jos Verstappen still in third, waiting in case leaders make a mistake. And then Jos Verstappen will be able to capitalise on that. But, and so that's the best lap of the race, a 150.2. But he, of course, he will have fresher tyres compared to the drivers ahead, because he had to pit for damage, hence why he is so far back from the pack. Heading through La Fagna now are the lead pack of the 4 drivers out of 5 attending here. Ralf Schumacher, he's lost a little bit of time to Jos Verstappen, or perhaps Verstappen has caught up to the back of Schumacher here. But it's a 3-way battle for the lead here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Who will come out on top? Will it be Jacques Villeneuve? Jos Verstappen. Ralf Schumacher's looking every which way to see where he can make a move on Jacques Villeneuve. Caught up massively to the back there through the bus stop chicane. All of them getting a reasonably good exit. Ralf Schumacher perhaps not as good as either of Jos Verstappen or Jacques Villeneuve, but obviously that's Rubens Barrichello now at the fastest lap of the race. But as they come out of La Source now, it's Jos Verstappen who is on the back of Ralf Schumacher. Will he be able to make a move into Le Combe? We'll have to wait and see for the end of the straight. We're following Jos Verstappen down the Kemmel Straight through the Little Kemmel Kink. They're all a bit too spread out to make a move. I don't think either of them will be able to make a move on anyone else. Rubens Barrichello just in the back of your shot there, waiting for any of these drivers to make a mistake. As Jos Verstappen has dropped back a little from the lead 2 of Ralf Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. Perhaps the dirty air playing an effect in that. Of course, there is no mechanism for catching up to the lead driver, as DRS is banned for this Formula 1 Retro League, as we are role-playing the 2000 season. Hence why I am using the 2000 season names. But we're focusing on the live action as Alexander Wirtz has had to pit once again. Oh, he's broken his front wing. Has Alexander Wirtz had another off track there as he serves his 5-second penalty now. But I wonder what has happened to Alexander Wirtz. Perhaps he just crashed of his own accord. I couldn't see any other reason for a broken front wing. But it could have been just a random mechanical failure, if we had those in the game. As we see, Ralf Schumacher is now going to try and go around the outside of Jacques Villeneuve once again into the bus stop chicane. That'll be inside for the second part. Can Ralf Schumacher get a better exit out of this time onto lap 7? They're side by side, both of them trading fastest laps now. Ralf Schumacher is going to try and go around the outside into La Source. Can he make that move stick? He's got a good exit. They're still side by side. Jacques Villeneuve pulls out to the right hand side of the track. Ralf Schumacher has to concede to the Canadian driver through Eau Rouge and Radillon. They go through now. Ralf Schumacher trying to find all the different lines. He's got the better exit out of Radillon now. Going to go side by side down the Kemmel Straight. Neither of them able to pull away from the other. Seems like they're pretty matched on straight line speed. As we see, Ralf Schumacher just gets ahead there, but Jacques Villeneuve will be able to get the better line through the next part of Le Combe. Ralf Schumacher looking on the inside into Bruxelles corner, sends it down the inside, but Villeneuve's got the cutback. This is very clean and impressive racing from the two drivers. And Villeneuve's managed to get it there. Ralf Schumacher was close on the inside, but Villeneuve stays ahead. Oh, but Ralf Schumacher's got the cutback and he's ahead. Villeneuve's been pushed off the track. And he's now going to have to contend with Jos Verstappen and Rubens Barrichello. I think Villeneuve might have damage if you see the lap car of Alexander Wirtz there. And Ralf Schumacher's giving the place back. That is sportsmanlike conduct of the Williams driver. He's dropped down all the way to 4th though because of that. That is not ideal for his race. But they are all bunched up now, the lead pack, the lead 4 drivers. As it's Jos Verstappen who leads out of all that. Then it is Jacques Villeneuve, Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher. As we see, Ralf Schumacher sends it down the inside into the bus stop chicane. Can he get it stopped? He does. And see him go round the outside into the second part. Not able to get a overlap on Rubens Barrichello, as that is Alexander Wirtz at the back into the pit lane once again. I believe he served 3 stops now. That is more than the 2 mandatory ones. And he will have to change onto dry tyres at some point. And we see that is at the front there. That is Jos Verstappen and Jacques Villeneuve going side by side almost through Eau Rouge. That would have been very brave, perhaps even reckless of them through there, as Alexander Wirtz has now officially retired from this race. Obviously seeing no point in continuing, but Villeneuve down the outside and is passed before the corner starts of Le Combe. As we see, Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher also tried to go side by side into Le Combe. Rubens Barrichello managed to stay ahead in the Ferrari of the Williams driver. No attempts made into Bruxelles. Ralf Schumacher almost tried to get their cut on the inside there, but nothing becoming of that. As let's just take a second to appreciate Alexander Wirtz. One of five cars to participate in this race. Crashed out of qualifying. Was using a dry setup, as we saw earlier on, and has officially retired from the race now. That is, of course, not ideal for him, as he will score no points due to that DNF, I think. I'll have to confirm that with the race officials. I believe if you DNF without having 90% of the race completed, you do not score points. But we're going to look at the back of the 4 drivers partaking now. Ralf Schumacher on the back of Rubens Barrichello, Jos Verstappen in second, on the back of Jacques Villeneuve in first. They're all very close here to one another. I expected the field to be more spread out, to be honest. You see everyone trading fastest laps with each other. It's Rubens Barrichello who manages to get it that lap around as we start lap 9 of 22. We're almost to the halfway mark of this race. And it's been quite crazy considering only 5 cars have partaken and 4 cars were in the battle for the lead. It's been quite hectic. We've had, I think it's 3 drivers lead the race, only 2 of those being across the finish line, I believe. That was, of course, Jacques Villeneuve, Jos Verstappen, and Ralf Schumacher, as that was Jos Verstappen being overtaken by Rubens Barrichello for 2nd place. Jos Verstappen going to try and get the switcheroo into the Bruxelles corner, nothing becoming there, as it's almost single file. We have seen some moves earlier on, but not this time around. I'm beginning to wonder when the crossover to dry tyres will be, but I don't know when that will be. Well, I'm assuming it'll be pretty soon, as we see the track is drying out, but there still is quite a bit of spray. But there will be a crossover to dry tyres, as there's no more rain forecast. And of course, all these drivers will have to make 2 mandatory stops, as we have here in the F1 Retro League. But I don't know whether that will be soon or late. Sooner or later, as the phrase normally goes, if I could use it properly. The closest battle on track right now is for 3rd place, with Ralf Schumacher and Jos Verstappen. Ralf trying to go around the outside of Jos, and he goes to get the cut back onto the main straight here. Not a very long main straight, but he is trying to go up into 3rd place. Going to go down the inside into La Source now. One of the prime overtaking opportunities on this circuit. Can Ralf Schumacher get the better exit? He can, and he's up into 3rd place for Williams BMW. Jos Verstappen down to 4th place, but still will be pleased with this result, because he will be scoring points as long as he doesn't retire from the race. But it is still Jacques Villeneuve leading, as it has led almost from the start. We have had a couple lead changes, but Villeneuve has been the fastest car on track so far. On average, we have seen Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher be trading fastest laps with him, but on the whole, it has been Jacques Villeneuve leading and setting the pace. But Rubens Barrichello is chasing him down now, closing very slightly through, as now Rubens Barrichello's got a 3-second time penalty. That'll be for track limits violations. That is not going to be ideal for his race, but he'll have to pull a 3-second gap from Jacques Villeneuve to be able to win the race later on. But of course, he has to pass the driver first to be able to do that, and of course he will be. I'm assuming he will be frustrated with that and be riled up to make a move quicker, perhaps more aggressive. You see Barrichello trying to go around the outside into the bus stop chicane. He absolutely sends it down into the bus stop, just about gets it stopped for the corner. What would we expect from world champion? Of course he's going to be able to save that car. But Barrichello is in 2nd. Oh, and he's been hit by Ralf Schumacher, who outbroke himself. He's been hit. And all the drivers into the pit lane now. All the drivers, every single one is into the pit lane. We're seeing here. Who's going to get out first? We'll have to wait and see. I'm assuming it'll be Villeneuve, as of course Barrichello will serve his penalty now. Can he get ahead of Jos Verstappen? No, he doesn't. Barrichello down to 4th and last place now of the classified runners, but Villeneuve still leads from Jos Verstappen. No, sorry, from Ralf Schumacher. Jos Verstappen down in 3rd place, and Barrichello's retired from the race. Has Barrichello just given up on his race here? Something wrong with the Ferrari, perhaps. As he had, as I saw here, did have another penalty. I'm not sure what that's for, but either way, it's not going to matter anymore, as Barrichello is out. That is not ideal for Ferrari. And it's very good for Jacques Villeneuve, because that means that unless he retires from this race, I do believe he will take the lead of the World Championship. It also means that every driver who finishes the race at this current stage will finish on the podium. As we see, all the drivers are on dry tyres now. The crossover has happened. It is dry enough for the slick tyres. They will have to wait one more stop in this race. That could be a potential form of excitement here. But we're seeing no current close battles on track. Jos Verstappen is closing in on Ralf Schumacher. Dropped it back a little bit now, but that is the closest battle on track. I'd hazard a guess and say Ralf Schumacher will catch up to the back of Jacques Villeneuve in due time. And when we do, we will have a race on our hands. But it is Jacques Villeneuve still leading, the Canadian driver. 1997 Formula 1 World Champion. Switched to BAR once it became a team in 1999. British American Racing in their second year of racing. But Ralf Schumacher is in second now. That is him we're following now. As Ralf Schumacher, I believe it's his first year with Williams. I can't confirm that for you. But anyway, Jos Verstappen in third. Very good for his race, as ignore the DRS notification at the top, as we have no DRS in this F1 Retro League. Today's Grand Prix is brought to you by Foster's Beer, available in any local supermarkets or shops around you. Official partner of the Belgian Grand Prix. We're seeing Jacques Villeneuve leading the race from Ralf Schumacher and Jos Verstappen. We have had the move to dry tyres, as I'm going to comment on the strategies here for each driver. Both Ralf Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve are on the soft tyres, but Jos Verstappen is on the mediums. I'm not sure what the implications of that are, as of course all drivers will need to make another stop. Let's just take a moment here to appreciate Rubens Barrichello. He's been racing with a fever here. He's still able to make the race. Was up on the podium positions at points. Unfortunately retired. But we wish Rubens a speedy recovery for the next race, 1 week's time in Italy for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Tune in same time next week for that. But we are following Ralf Schumacher now through P1 corner. Not much happening in this race, of course. What can you expect with 3 drivers currently racing? But let's hope more will attend for the next race. As I have said, it's the Italian Grand Prix. Always a good race, the Italian Grand Prix, assuming people turn up. But if they do, we'll be in for a good one. Unfortunately, we can't bring that to you here in Belgium. I will note that Ralf Schumacher has caught up to the back of Jacques Villeneuve. As you see, they're very close to each other now. Whether Villeneuve just had a bad lap, whether Ralf Schumacher had a good lap, or one of them just made a mistake, I don't know. As I was rambling on to myself about the Italian Grand Prix next week. but nevertheless we are here. As it's about 1.2 seconds from Jacques Villeneuve back to Ralf Schumacher, another 2.5 seconds-ish to Jos Verstappen. Today's Grand Prix, of course, brought to you by Foster's Beer, official partner of the Belgian Grand Prix, available in any local supermarkets around you. So the running order currently is Jacques Villeneuve for BAR Honda in first. Then we have Ralf Schumacher for Williams BMW in second place. Third is the Arrow Supertech of Jos Verstappen. And the two drivers who retired from the race are Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari, apologise for the graphical glitch on your screen, and Alexander Wurz also retired from the race earlier on for Benetton Renault. Or is it Benetton Playlife or Benetton Renault? I believe it's Benetton Playlife. But I'll confirm that for you now. It is Benetton Playlife, but they are using rebadged Renault engines, so you may as well call them Benetton Renault if you wish to do so. As we see, Ralf Schumacher has ghosted just then, whether he has left the lobby, we have yet to confirm, but he is there still. I think he's back. Maybe he just paused for a second. But still racing, but he has allowed Jos Verstappen to catch up to the back of him. Catching massively through Lecombe. No, he has. He has not. Go back into the race. Jos Verstappen is up into second. That was a big wiggle from Ralf Schumacher there. Let's hope Ralf Schumacher can get back into this lobby, so we can see some good racing here at Belgium. As, quite frankly, I'm a little bored. I've run out of things to commentate on, as Jacques Villeneuve is looking to take a comfortable win from Jos Verstappen and Ralf Schumacher, unless either Verstappen or Villeneuve make a mistake. Of course, Ralf Schumacher could make a mistake, whether it's his AI or whether he rejoins and makes that mistake. But we'll have to wait and see, as we have 7 laps left in this race after this one. As I once again apologise for the graphical glitches. I'm not sure what there is to be done about that. As we see, that is Ralf Schumacher into the pit lane now. That will be his AI making the pit stop. I wonder what tyres he's going to put on. I'd imagine it's the softs. As now he's just driven through the pit lane. What's gone on there? Why has Ralf Schumacher just driven through the pit lane? I didn't see he had a drive-through penalty. That is very odd. For the Williams team, they've just sabotaged their own race. It was a pole that was aborted, but then why not stop him anyway? The wonders of Williams BMW, we can consult him after the race, as we will speak to all the podium finishers once the race has been completed in the paddock. You'll be able to check that out on the F1 Retro League Discord. If you're watching this back, hopefully it will be, invite to that server will be in the description of the video. But if you're watching it live, then I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere else. As we're watching the 2000 graphical glitch Foster's Belgian Grand Prix here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Jacques Villeneuve leads from Jos Verstappen. As we see, they're both in the pit lane now. As I think Jacques Villeneuve has left the lobby as he's gone quite slowly through that chicane. I wonder what that's for. As something's gone on there. And what? I'm very confused. Has Villeneuve pit? Or is he just driven through? I know Verstappen has pitted. We saw him go into his box there. He has served 2 of his mandatory pit stops. But I'm not sure what's going on here. Pit stop seems to be very odd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. But anyway, we're following Jacques Villeneuve in the lead, heading into Le Com chicane. Since I have time, I'll run you through a rundown of the Spa circuit. As I get it up on my display. The first corner is La Source after a 271 metre dash from pole position down into the first corner. That is La Source corner. Then turns 3, 4 and 5. Turn 2 is pretty nondescript down a little straight. But turns 3, 4 and 5 are some of the most famous corners in motorsport, that being the Eau Rouge Raidillon complex. For anyone who wishes to be a nerd, the little left at the bottom of the hill is the Eau Rouge corner. The other 2 corners, the right and the other left at the top of the hill, are the Raidillon complex. But then it's turn 6, the Kemmel Kink, and the Kemmel Straight precedes that. It's one of the longest straights on the Formula 1 calendar. Lots of slipstreaming to be had there in a normal race with lots of drivers attending. As we see, Michael Schumacher sets the fastest lap of the race there. But anyway, turn 7, 8 and 9 are the Le Com chicane. Then turn 10 is the Bruxelles corner, a 180 degree right-hander. Turn 11 is famous for being called the no-name corner, as of course it has no name. Turn 12 is another famous corner, that being Pouon. Turns 13 and 14, a sweeping chicane. They have 2 names. It can either be called Le Fagnet or the Campus chicane. Turn 15 and 16 is the Stavelot complex. Then turns 17 is a little kink to the left, for turn 18 a bigger kink to the left called the Blanchimont corner. Then the last couple turns, 19 and 20, are the bus stop chicane. And that completes the lap of the Spa circuit here in the Ardennes forest of Belgium. As we're on lap 19 of 22, Jacques Villeneuve looking to cruise to an easy win. Jos Verstappen is in second. And then it's Ralf Schumacher in third. Out of the races, Rubens Barrichello for Ferrari. And the Benetton play life of Alexander Wurz. As there has been actually some action here, Jacques Villeneuve has been caught by Jos Verstappen, as we have 2 laps to go now after this one. As I think Jacques Villeneuve has ghosted here. Jacques Villeneuve ghosted. That could allow Jos Verstappen to get ahead of him here. This is actually quite interesting. I was expecting Jacques Villeneuve to cruise to an easy win. But if he's not able to get back into his lobby, that'll allow Jos Verstappen to pull away. And I daren't say it, but if you know what I mean, then I'm sure you know what I mean. As Jos Verstappen is into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix now, the first action we've had in a long time, it seems. But we are here through the Bruxelles corner. Jos Verstappen is pulling away massively on Jacques Villeneuve. And to risk the commentator's curse, I'm going to say Jos Verstappen could be on for a Grand Prix win here. I'm just going to see if that has ever happened before. It has. Jos Verstappen did win the opening round in Australia. At the time, that would have been his first win in Formula 1, and also his first win of the season, other than to take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. But after that, Michael Schumacher would not have looked back and took the lead probably after round 5 in Spain. But anyway, this is round 10 at Belgium. We're not looking back, we're looking forwards. Perhaps maybe we should look even more forwards to the Italian Grand Prix. Let's hope that it is a better race, as we are on the penultimate lap here now. Jos Verstappen leads from Jacques Villeneuve and Ralf Schumacher. But this would still put Jacques Villeneuve into the lead of the race, as we're seeing a type performance graphic here. Jacques Villeneuve does have better tyres than Jos Verstappen, but however, Jos Verstappen is currently being driven by a human, so that might give him the edge here, unless the driver has a skill issue, but I doubt that is the case, as I like to give people the benefit of the doubt in terms of their driving talent. But we'll see. There's still a lap and a half to play out yet. Anything could happen. This is Formula 1. Anything can and probably will happen. Like 5 drivers attending a race. That could happen. Or Ralf Schumacher getting a penalty for track limits violations. That could also happen and has happened. He got a 3-second time penalty added onto the end of his race time. That will put him nowhere other than where he is right now, because he is the last of the classified runners. And we see Jos Verstappen starting the final lap now. Little team, led by Tom Walkinshaw and his outfit, racing under the Arrows name, with a orange and black livery, sponsored by Orange Telecoms, of course. So he heads through Eau Rouge for the final time. This is exactly the sort of race Jos Verstappen wanted to have. He isn't necessarily in the championship hunt, but he is 5th in the championship. This will put him ahead of Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher up into 3rd in the championship. As I misread there, that is 5th in the championship for him right now. Jacques Villeneuve will take the lead, and Ralf Schumacher. So no, he wouldn't take the lead off of Ralf Schumacher, as of course Ralf Schumacher will be scoring points. So he will be up into 4th ahead of Rubens Barrichello, who is not scoring points due to crashing out later on. Of course, Barrichello has a fever, so we wish him a speedy recovery. As it's Jos Verstappen, he's in the final sector. He can cruise almost now. He's 5 seconds back to the next car, who isn't being driven by a player. The Dutch driver will be absolutely elated with that. While it maybe wasn't on skill alone, he did well to keep up with the lead drivers. We see Jos Verstappen rounds the final corner. He will win the Belgian Grand Prix of 2000. Jacques Villeneuve takes 2nd place, and it's Jos Verstappen in 3rd. Ignore the graphic there, that says 2nd, I'm not sure what that is for. But driver of the day comes to Ralf Schumacher. Ignore those results, I'm not sure that is right. We'll confirm with you in the paddock later on whether that is right. That will be in the F1 Retro League Discord server. which you can find somewhere. Perhaps it'll be in the video description if you're watching this on catch-up, as we see the podium finishes there. Jos Verstappen, the Dutch driver, winning the race. The closest race to his home country of the Netherlands. That is exactly what he wants. Let's just appreciate the podium here. Anyway, we look to next week. It's the Italian Grand Prix. Next time out. So it was Jos Verstappen who won the race. We'll see you next time at the Italian Grand Prix. Tune in on Saturday next week at 7 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be live before 7 o'clock, but if you cannot make it before, that is fine. We'll see you next time for the Italian Grand Prix. I've been Woodtom14, your host, and goodbye.